Hello Internet, I'm Jackie Fox and we're going to be talking about personal fitness a bit more in this video. Continuing on from a theme in my last video about how the very idea of physical fitness has become commodified in modern times and why that's ultimately a problem. In the last video I encouraged people to get as little as just a yoga mat and a simple 20-pound kettlebell to really be able to start learning about their body and how to keep it at a level of personal fitness. But I do think it's important to talk about our expectations and the reasons why people come to personal fitness. And for a lot of people, that is that they have been taught not to like the way that they look and to want to fix it. I'm not going to say that personal fitness won't change the way your body looks to something that people might generally feel is more attractive. But if you're just getting into this for aesthetic reasons, I feel like you're missing the point. I've seen some major transformations from people who were in a place where they were unhealthy and they were recommended by a doctor to come in and change their personal health. And those people who committed to that process, I see them in the gym 8 or 10 years later and they look so different than they did before, like completely different people now. And while I think that this is worth being celebrated, I don't think it's the important part here, because this treats personal health as if it's a solution to these problems, which can lead people to believe that if they don't have a problem, they don't need personal fitness. If you're not in some way overweight, or if you don't have a medical condition that your doctor is concerned about, you might think that you don't need to worry about your own physical fitness. You might think, I am fit. Why would I need to exercise? And you know what? You could be right. There are people who are born in such a way that, or just have lives that naturally push them towards fitness. A lot of people who really work with their hands in their labor are already lifting plenty of weights at work and are already being on their feet quite a lot. It's not that they need to become more physically fit. Physical fitness is about making your body work as a way of benefiting yourself, taking back the productive power of your body and turning it inwards to improve yourself, but also to build a body consciousness, so that you are aware of your own health, and in becoming aware of this health, you can begin to learn and cultivate ways to respond to particular issues. This allows you to, through fitness, maintain your body, and even if you do have a physically demanding job, that's not necessarily good for your body, and I'm pretty sure you're aware of that. And if your body hurts from the labor that you do, you may not want to put it through any more pain. But the most painful part of exercise is either getting started, the whole pain is a weakness, leaving your body mindset, or trying to build muscles in a way like bodybuilding, which is an inherently aesthetic version of physical fitness. But the real benefits of physical fitness are not necessarily aesthetic and need not be painful. Building body consciousness and becoming more aware of the things that you can do to relieve pain is also a big part of this. For a lot of people with back pain, for example, there are many forms of stretching that in the long term can be very beneficial for that. And if you were going to a gym, though, you'll notice that there's usually very little room or very little equipment devoted to the idea of stretching, because it's not really a thing that you need equipment for. You probably want a nice pad to stretch out on so that your hands and knees and feet aren't grinding into a hard surface as you stretch. But other than that, it's just you engaging with your own body, and of all the activities you could do at a gym, it's the one you least need a gym for. Even if stretching should be very important and integral part of your workout regimen. Of course, it's not like stretching itself can't be commodified, and largely the whole movement of private yoga studios popping up everywhere to charge $40 and more per session per head to teach you how to interact with your own body is basically the capitalist market figuring out a way to commodify stretching through cultural appropriation to apply a veneer of ancient mystical wisdom that made people think that they really needed to pay for classes to learn this stuff. And I've definitely taken any number of free yoga classes, basically as many as I could find, And I have taken a lot of poses away from that are really effective, but largely I like yoga because it's a meditative process where you're going through your actions slowly, holding so that your muscles are given time to properly stretch and react. And in that, you begin to realize where the tension is and where the muscles are on your body that need to be more properly stretched to relieve pain. What part of your body is actually resulting in that pain? How do you have to move to relieve that? What parts of your body need more work? What parts are easily being worn out by your daily activities? The thing that I really enjoy about stretching that you wouldn't normally think about is that meditative self-diagnostic process that I believe makes you more aware of how to heal yourself. You'll notice parts of your body that want to stretch the least, and those are often many times the parts of your body that need to stretch most. But if your only concept of yoga is doing exactly what your teacher tells you, then you never actually develop the body consciousness to be able to self-guide your own progress. And this inherently keeps you from growth and mastery, because if you ever were to master, which is essentially learning poses and listening to your body, you wouldn't need a $40 a week regimen of yoga classes. I do think it's valuable and helpful for people to learn, especially from people who really know what they're doing, but I'm not necessarily sure that we need white yoga masters commodifying something that was taught in its native land for free because of its importance or its perceived importance to society. And it's not that white people shouldn't do yoga. It's that white people shouldn't profit from teachings that were basically given to them for free by another culture. And it's not that you shouldn't do yoga either. I think it's incredibly helpful, and it's a really dynamic form of stretching that makes stretching a lot more interesting than what you might have learned as a kid in gym class and already forgotten by now. And starting from a place of minimalist equipment, this also allows you to understand when and why you might want better equipment. Whereas starting out in a sprawling gym with machines made for every part of your body, you might never even learn how to use that machine properly because you were never taught to feel your muscle flex and how to know if you're hitting the place that you need to. Just assume that you can sit down at any machine as long as you've read what it does for your body. Just doing a little of that, and that's all you have to think about. The more you use this specialized type of equipment and it becomes your baseline for your concept of physical fitness, the further you become removed from actually understanding your body and what the machine is doing to it and how to utilize that most effectively. This leads towards a place where gym users become either adept in listening to their own body or completely dependent on machines that know what to do. But I'm going to talk a bit more about the kind of gyms that you might end up wanting to use, why you might end up wanting to use them in the next video. In this video, I want to leave you with a middle ground. And I originally filmed a whole video talking about this, but in retrospect, these parks might not be very common where you live. I just happened to notice 2 of them pop up near me and my mother in different parts of the state over the last decade. So I think this might be a new trend, and if it is, it's a pretty cool one. But both of these parks feature at least a full circuit of outdoor fixed weight machines that, like you might find in a gym, situated around a track. Now, one thing you might know if you ever got particularly into physical fitness in a gym is that circuits are a way to maximize your efficiency by combining exercises together, and having your circuits laid out on set intervals on a walking track will also make sure you get a bit of cardiovascular fitness in there as well. The equipment at the park near me seems to be a bit older and focused a bit more on core strength, and I think that a lot of people who are actually out here using it are also a bit older anyways, and core strength is even more important for retaining your balance as you age, so that makes sense. Whereas the one around my mother has an obstacle course that seems like it's best suited for adventurous children, in addition to a bunch of other things for children to play with, but the same sort of track, except with a broader variety of fixed weight equipment that more resembles one of everything from a basic gym. Now again, I think that people shouldn't necessarily outsource thinking about their body to a machine, but that doesn't mean that these machines aren't actually pretty useful, and the fact that they're located and freely accessible by a park is pretty excellent. If you have any newer parks around you, check them out for this kind of thing, especially probably in the nicer, wider areas, because you might have a minimalist free outdoor gym near you. And if you do, that is a no-cost way to do this whole thing. Although I still encourage you to get a yoga mat and a kettlebell, but you can at least look up yoga videos on YouTube. It's very easy to get started by learning a few poses, holding them for as long as they say. I know it might be hard, but the whole point of stretching is to hold it for an extended period of time to begin with. So don't rush through this, and take the time to feel your muscles activate and really feel what that stretch is doing to you instead of focusing on the amount of time. Instead, focus on your body, because I think that you can use this to really learn to feel your muscles and what your tendons and everything that you can modify through physical fitness. And you'll begin to realize what parts of yourself need to change to improve your personal fitness to better suit your goals. And this is a goal that is independent of how you feel you would look naked or how much weight you can lift. It's very much more about making your body suited to the tasks that you demand from it on a daily basis. And if you want to do more, you know what you need, you know what changes you need to make your body more resilient. If we can at least remove this alienation from our own bodies, we might begin to feel a bit more human again. And I think that humanizing people and allowing them to humanize themselves is an important step towards recovering from this nightmare that we've been in. But also in growing stronger communities instead of just isolated individuals.